Hi everyone, and welcome to this episode of Meet the Maker Mondays. I'm Sarah Harvell, the metalsmith and maker behind Ravenna Metalworks. And today I'm going to show you kind of like a part 2 show and tell about the pieces that I'm making for the Piedmont Craftsmen Fair in November. It's a really big deal for me. It is a full circle moment. If you haven't seen that video already, go ahead and watch it. But just a little background. So essentially, Piedmont Craftsmen is a guild that is national, so it's national in the US, so anyone in the United States is open to apply. And it was founded in 1963, so it's a guild. It's a fine craft guild, and every year they have a fair. And so new members get to apply with their images and artist statements and the category they want to be juried into, and then they get invited to the fair. So it's kind of like past the image review, that's one stage, and then the second stage is going to the fair for the object review. So that's what I'm working on right now. And so I am creating a really big body of work, of the best work of my life. I have not done that since my thesis when I got my master's in 2016. So my life is just completely engulfed by making work for the fair, because it's a really high-end fair. It's a really big deal for me. So I've been working really, really hard on making as many pieces as I can before November. So let's go over to my bench and I will show y'all some finished pieces that I kind of showed in progress before, and then some other new pieces that I haven't even shown anybody yet. So kind of like an added bonus at the end. So let's go over to my bench and I will show y'all what I have been working on. Okay, so here it is. So I showed y'all a progress of this before where it was kind of in pieces, but now it's complete. So this is my feather, my peacock feather brooch sculpture. And you're like, brooch sculpture. So just to show y'all the back. So this here is a pin catch and a bail for a pendant. So let's take this off of here. So you just undo the pin stems here. Take that off, and you turn it to the side so that way it can come out, and then the pin comes right out, and you can wear it as a brooch, or I did a pretty big bail on that so that way you can put it on a variety of different necklaces or collars or whatever you want to put it on, a ribbon. But I really love the idea of form and function. Art Nouveau always inspires my work. And so I've seen a lot of like tiaras that will have birds that you can take off and wear as brooches or necklaces. So I thought, oh, that's a great idea. So this is how I kind of did the decorative back, and it's, you know, it's functional but also decorative. So when you take it off, it doesn't look completely, you know, naked. And I did a diamond burr finish on this so that way, you know, you catch the light. And it looks like feathers. I didn't want to do a super high polish on it, because feathers aren't, you know, super high polish, right? Okay, so, and it doesn't really matter like which direction. I mean, this one's, you know, that's the front. A lot of people are like, oh, it doesn't matter the direction. Yes, it does. So this is the front. So that's the quill, or the, you know, people call it a stem, but it's actually a quill, feather quill. And I have it in the wood base there. And so to put it back on here so that we all can see how to put it back on. So got this guy. So I have this open. So you put it through the side. So it's kind of like a key situation. Hopefully you can see. I'm doing it with one hand here. And then hold it with one hand and close it with another. And just pin it right on there. And then it's on there. And there you go. Yeah. This is a purely experimental piece, and I really, really love how it turned out. And I'm going to recreate something very similar in this for a phoenix feather. I got a beautiful carnelian druzy I'm going to set very similar to this in the center. So that'll be, I'm not sure if I'll have enough time for that before the fair, but that's definitely on my list of projects, which is very, very long. So let's go on to the next thing. Okay, so this is my calla lily set that I finished. I kind of showed y'all a progress. It was in pieces. I literally just sawn out the flower part here and then the leaf, and then just kind of mapped out the collar and the bracelet. But I hadn't formed anything. I hadn't put anything together. So I'm really proud of this. This is, I love shell forming. So this is made with shell forming, and it is great for botanical pieces. I absolutely love using it for leaves and flowers. So this is out of brass and argentium silver. So the bloom here is argentium silver. And I mean, just look how beautiful it shines up. It's so bright white. And so I love making two-tone because nature's not all one color. And so that's why I did the gold here for the brass. And this is 12 gauge for the collar. I usually use 14 gauge, but I like 12 gauge sometimes because it's nice and hefty. And I love making collars because I think they're just a great statement piece. And this is the cuff, and so I kind of did it to match. I just shrunk the template down so I can make a smaller bloom there. And I'm going to make a matching pair of earrings for this. I want it to be like a whole set, so that way when it's laying on my booth display, I can have the collar here, and then the bracelet in the middle, maybe the earrings off to the side. I always love creating sets because I always get people that ask, oh, do you have this in a pair of earrings? Do you have this in a necklace? So I do work in sets. Whenever I make something, I always make a pair of earrings and a necklace in case, you know, there's an earrings person, they want earrings, or a necklace person, they want a necklace. So this is, yeah, I really loved making this piece. And I kind of recreated the same leaf form that I did for my Lily of the Valley diadem. So that was kind of reusing a motif, and then same thing here. So I'm going to probably reuse this leaf motif a lot because I really, really love it. Okay, I'm so excited to show y'all this one. So this is a piece out of all argentium silver. So I made the chain myself, and then I made this raven silhouette. And I love to work in silhouettes and then just do kind of subtle lines like this. And you can see here that I formed it a little bit just to give it some volume. So you can see kind of from the back where I hammered it. And this is, I guess you can call it shell forming. I mean, it's, you know, it's just sinking. It's a way of getting dimension on flat pieces. Because, I mean, it looked great flat, but then as soon as I put these little curves in it with my hammer, it just really came to life. So that's why I love that technique. And this stone, it's a faceted onyx, and I actually got it free with the carnelian druzy that I ordered. He threw some free stones in there, and I was just so excited. So that's what inspired this piece, because I thought, oh gosh, that's beautiful black faceted onyx, and it just made me think of ravens and crows, and I just love how gorgeous black they are, the black of their feathers, and so that inspired this piece. So I call this the Ravenna. This is the Ravenna necklace. So I'm super proud of this one and really excited to show y'all. Okay, so the last piece I'm going to show you is another crow or raven piece, because a lot of my crow stuff sells out very quickly, so I've had to work really hard on replenishing. So this is a simple collar that I created. This is again out of brass and argentium silver, so I decided to make the crow argentium so that way it'll really stand out in contrast with the brass. And then this is a faceted tiger eye, and it does have like this really cool little crack or inclusion in it that I thought was really neat. And you know, it reminded me of a seed. And so this is kind of what it represents. It's like, you know, crows will hide their food kind of like squirrels do. I've seen them when I feed them sometimes in the morning, they'll hide the peanuts that I give them. And so that is something that they are good with the ecosystem. So they'll bury seeds in the ground. Of course, they'll forget it just like squirrels do. And then trees will grow. And so this is kind of a seed. And then, you know, the collar represents the branch, the whole of the tree, and then the branches, and then, of course, the crow on it. So just the whole kind of nature piece. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. And can you believe that I soldered this entire thing together without any oopsies? Like all of these, like that's a solder point, that's a solder point. I mean, it's, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then 13, 14, 15. So 15 solder points on this whole thing. I didn't melt my bezel. It got right here on the wire right there just perfectly. Yeah, it was, yeah. So sometimes you just have pieces where just everything comes together, you know? So these are the pieces I'm making for the fair, and I'm so super excited to present these and share them with the world. And they will be available for purchase in November. Not right now, but if you want, you can ask me for a custom piece. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Meet the Maker Mondays. I'll have one more episode of this season, will be next Monday. It'll be the last episode of the season because I have a lot of stuff to do for the holidays and to make all the work for Piedmont Craftsmen Fair. So I'm going to end the season on, let's see, what is it? September 29th will be the last episode of the season. So that way I can just go straight into holiday madness. And so my life will just be completely engulfed by that. So join me next week on the last episode of Meet the Maker Mondays. I'll see you next week.